Hello and welcome to another video. This is Azur Lane, which brief description and overview of all the ships available, and technically the skins, because they're not ships, they're skins. So this is the Otago. This was an earned ship back in the day, but now you can buy it for free XP. As you can clearly see, it's got pretty good, awesome Azur Lane Camo colours 05.
Yeah, it's your usual Japanese cruiser. It relies on its HE. You can see there, superior damage from HE shells. It's a paramania, so it sets fires quite often.
It should do.
Usual again, cruiser on Japanese line, sluggish turn. You can see it's developed as a Myoko class cruiser, so it's built off. They're all very similar, like the Megami, same into Tier 7.
Yeah.
More hit points than you're going to get off your tech tree variants. Not many more, just about 300 more, but a little bit more, so it's not too bad. Armour's not that great, 127. The gun's 203mm, 16.2 range. We've got this commander in at the moment.
16, it's not bad.
And 16-second reload, quite high for a cruiser. And there's some HE shell damage, not that high you'd expect from weights made out, 3,630, but 25% chance of fire. So it does what a Japanese cruiser does. It's no different to the normal ones. Secondaries, cruisers, I don't really tend to bother what they do. They can do what they want for me. You don't really tend to use it. But it's more about them main 203mm main armaments for me.
25% chance of fire.
It's quite high.
Not bad.
Torpedoes, not as high as you get on your tech tree ships. I think the Maiko's got 10 kilometres and the Margami's got 11. You only get 8, but they are substantially faster. 76 knots, so they're way faster. They don't do as much damage either. Only 15,000 compared to 17,000 you'll get from your tech tree variants, but they reload a little bit quicker, 101 seconds. I haven't really fussed on turn time, but you get 4x4, so you've got a lot. There's a hell of a lot. You've got 8 off each side, so it's a bit like a German cruiser, but with more range. The angle's still not great, but it's better than it has been before. Quite fast, 35.5 knots, 790-metre turning circles. You'd expect from a ship this size, and the Japanese cruisers aren't the most manoeuvrable. It's quite stealthy as well. I think that comes down to the camo we've got on the commander we're using. You like your stealthy cruisers, don't you, on Japanese line?
Yeah.
So 11.2. And now this, I do like this. The Baby Jean Bart, the Dunkirk Tier 5 premium French battleship. You can see guns most at the front. You can see there it's really strange that its plus points aren't really needed. It's fast. And if anybody knows anybody who plays a Jean Bart, as long as it's going backwards, it's all right. And Dunkirk's very similar. Above average main battle traverse, so you can get them guns pointing where you want them. And I don't find that a problem with this ship, to be honest with you. Compromising AP, high caliber. You can see that it was designed to combat the German cruisers of its time. Ship was built with good torpedo reduction.
But look at the camo. Guns. Camo's awesome.
It's funky, isn't it? Very white.
Yeah, very white. It's got lots of white, red crosses on targets.
That's very similar to like some kind of medieval Last Crusade.
It does actually.
Going on. The ship as a general rule is pretty good though. Like I say, you just keep face on because all your gun mounts are at the front. 52,000 hit points. French battleships don't tend to have that many hit points, but the armour is quite substantial, 340. 25% chance reduction in torpedoes, which is always handy to have. You don't want to miss out on that. And then guns are amazing, aren't they? I do like them. 330mm guns, 2x4 of them. 17.1 range as well. Reload 28 seconds.
Very good.
Look at that chance of fire with an HE round.
35%.
So, but the AP is just as good. So it's another one of them ships. You know, you've got a good ship when you can't choose which ammo to use because they're both decent.
Which to go, yeah.
Secondaries, a little bit harder to get in action, but like you said before in other videos, that's when you're getting a bit like Jean Bart when it destroys right back here. That's when they're more kicking than normal.
Definitely.
You can't run away in this ship, so you've pretty much rely on reversing everywhere. It's true. So you just want to point it at things, and it's very tricky to do damage to when you just stay face on. You don't need to do anything else. It is quite quick. It's got a speed boost as well that comes with it. It's already nearly 30 knots. Turning circles pretty good as well, 730 metres. But like I say, why do you need to turn? All your guns are up front. It's never going to need to happen. Detectable range, battleship. As a general rule, I do like the Dunkirk. I think it's a good, solid French battleship at Tier 5.
Yeah.
Totally different to Normandy.
Yeah.
And you like Belfast, don't you?
I do play my Belfast. I do like it. Love the camo. Nice and blue.
Tier 6 British
Cruiser.
Which is a bit different to your tech tree ones, isn't it, again?
This was an earned ship as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. This above average aim, nimble aim, so close quarters is always advantageous to it. Paramania, so it's not normal, but it does fire HE, as the British cruisers don't normally. High caliber penetration problem with AP. I've never found that an issue with this.
No.
It's based on the Edinburgh, you can see there, the Tier 7 one. And this thing, it fought the Shawneers, did it not? The Belfast?
Yeah.
And the Battle of the Cape, I can't remember the
didn't
battle. Yeah,
hit it with torpedoes, which we ain't
it
got.
doesn't have. It's
No.
been. This is the best bit. It got its torpedoes removed for better torpedo protection.
Upgraded.
Torpedo damage reduction 4%. 35,000 hit points. Its armour's not its plus point. It all relies about sitting in a smoke screen and spamming. That's what the commander's built around as well. Extra ability to fire in smoke without being detected. So you can see there's no armour. Hit points are okay, but there's not loads of them. You have got repair patches.
Yeah.
152mm guns, so you're not going to be smashing most things, but it's not what it's about. It's all about spamming HE. 7.3 second reload, so it's churning them out left, right, and centre. 2,100, only 11% chance of fire.
It feels more than that.
Yeah, it does feel a lot more than that. And the AP's pretty potent if you come up with a fire rate. If you're in another cruiser, you don't want to be getting too close to a Belfast.
Not true.
True. Secondaries, again, you're never really going to use them. 5.3, so we're not going to discuss them. 32 knots, which is strange. It's such a mobile ship for something that sits in smoke most of the time. Turning circle 680 metres, so it's quite nimble. And then look at that concealment when firing in smoke. 4.9, which is insane for a cruiser.
Don't forget the Azur Lane Commander increases that.
He's all built
decreases
around it. 9.9 by sea and 6.2 by air. So it's quite a stealthy little ship to start with as well. Now we get down to the bigger boys at the hood. Most of British ships, you notice now. So the famous hood destroyed by the Bismarck in that clip that most people have seen. So it was the pride of the Royal Navy when it was first built until it was sunk. But it was getting a bit outdated by that point already. As you can see, it entered service in 1920. Above average maximum speed, nimble aim, and compromising A caliber shells. The Hood's one of them ships where you can have a really good game or a really bad one. It's not. There's no compromise.
There's no middle, is there? No middle.
We discussed it on the other video. We're not sure if that marking's on the side of where to shoot it, which doesn't help. But the camos.
Nice camo. One of my favourite camos. I'm just looking at nimble aim. Is that good?
I don't find it. I think it's a bit of a scattergun, isn't it? It's not as bad as like an Arkansas, but it's not bad. Survivability is really high. It's got lots of armour, but it's just not in the right places. So 67,700 hit points is a lot as well.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Only 16% torpedo reduction, but you're getting around the map. It does get smashed though outside if you go side as on, which most battleships do, but it's more susceptible than the odd. 381mm guns, 24-second reload. You've gone down for the range for the reload. Yes. So you've only got 14.7 now. But look at the damage and the chance of fire. 34% chance of fire.
That's good, you know.
5,300 from an HE round. And nearly 13,000 damage.
That's if you can hit it.
Secondaries are null and void. 7 times 202mm. Only 5.3. You're not really going to get too involved with them. The Hood's just a bit... I like it. And then I don't like it. It depends what mood it's in.
Yeah.
It's a very RNG related ship, isn't it?
Like we say, there's no middle, is there?
I mean, look at speed. It's a ship you need to get around and about in 30.7 knots. Turning circle. That's some stats misleading. It does not feel like that. It doesn't feel like an unresponsive, hard to manoeuvre ship at all. Concealment camo helps. It's got on it, but 14 kilometres. It's a battleship anyway. You're not trying to hide away anywhere and get shots in this. It's not like you sit behind Marland and plugging it all back up.
You'd think not.
No. It's quite narrow as well, so it's hard to hit if you stay face on, but you're tempted just to get them back guns. The
Schnelson.
The beast that is the Nelson, my favourite ship, the sister ship to the Rodney.
Look at that mark on the side. That is exactly where you sit at.
That is a problem. Very like the Dunkirk, see, they're big guns. They are big guns, over 400mm. Greater eel, this thing can recover nearly half itself at times. It's absolutely insane. You can see it's a compromising AP rounds, but don't worry about that. It's the first battleship of the Royal Navy you can see at the bottom, according to the all or nothing concept of battleship building. And I think it is. The guns are amazing. It's just lacking in manoeuvrability, but it's one of them ships that you just park face onto a team. Try and get that third gun into play if you can, but it's very vulnerable to sidle impacts, as the nicest way of putting it. So survivability shouldn't be quite as high as 71. Only 59,000 hit points, so you can see it's substantially less than the Hood we've just looked at. But the armour is more, 406, and a greater torpedo reduction. But this is what it's all about. Look at the guns, 406mm guns. You've got 3 times 3 of them. Reloads up at 30, range 17.6. But look at the AP and the HE shell damages. 6,900 in HE round and a 46% chance of fire. AP's up nearly 14,000. This thing wrecks. It absolutely wrecks. And you don't mind taking this into a tier 7 game. It'll just set things on fire. I mean, it's like your Atlanta rolls up. Oh, you want to go setting fires, do you? Let's bring it on, because you'll smash him. You'll probably citadel him with the HE rather than the Nelson. I love this ship. Absolutely fantastic. Here's what lets it down, but it's not really that bad a negative when you play the ship, because you normally just roll forward, get yourself in range, and just try pointing yourself everything you want to set on fire, basically. So manoeuvrability is not a problem. It's got better concealment than the others as well, which is another strange thing when it comes to the size of it.
In smoke, sorry. Wow.
But we've seen it. If anybody wants to watch an Eisenhower, well, the problem with an Nelson is its massive upper citadel that can be hit very easily. You don't have to show much side to get smashed in it. And finally, we come to the German Azur Lane.
This is the tech tree ship. You don't need to buy it, just earn it.
Yep. Which is the Hipper,
but you
tier 7 cruiser.
Buy the camo.
Yep. You like the camo as well, don't you? So you can see
like this camo.
The pluses are a bit strange. Extended sonar, superior AP damage, and superior HE pen.
I'm not sure about that.
Let's see. An ever cruiser matched most ships for a type in terms of speed and power of armament. Ship boasted distinctive advantages typical of German Navy ships, i.e. gun control system, high level of survivability. Entered service in 1939. There's quite a bit of history behind the ship, isn't there? But on the game, I think it's more known for its torpedoing than its actual guns. If I'm being honest, I'm more scared of it than that. Guys. I don't know about you. How do you play yours?
It's a cruiser in tier 7. Which we put those two together, it doesn't bode well, does it?
I mean, must admit, these stats we're looking at now, this is stock, isn't it? We have got no upgrades on this stuff. This is absolutely stock. So the hit points will increase. The armour won't. Torpedo reduction won't. I think it goes up slightly, the torpedo reduction. But it feels a lot harder to damage than what them stats lead you to believe there. And the 203mm guns, reload does come down from there, but it's quite high at that point. I mean, superior HE shell damage, 2,300, doesn't sound...
That's not superior.
And neither... The AP's pretty impressive at 5.9, but trying to pen with 203mm guns on things can sometimes be an issue. Secondaries, it's a cruiser. You do use them more on the upper, I dare say, than most, because what we're going to look at next are torpedoes. This thing can spew them out.
28 it's got on torpedoes.
It should be a lot more. You can see that it spews out 4 times 3, so you're chucking out... What we got there? There's a fair few in it.
4 times 12 in it?
Yeah, there's a lot. 68-second reload as well on them, so they fast reload. Damage is, it's okay, 13,700.
6k, pretty close.
Yeah, I have to find this, I get up close and personal, that's just how I play York and Nuremberg as well, to be fair.
True.
It's quite fast, 33.3 knots, 740 turning circle.
That does improve as well.
As does the rudder shift type, and the concealment is okay for a cruiser.
Smoke's not too bad. And that's our Azur Lane Part 3 video. If you want to reference everything like the commanders, look at Part 1. Okay then, Close 05, thank you very much for your Azur Lane and ship knowledge.